Alrighty, folks. We are back on Monday, and we are back to work. Sun's out, so it's time to work. I will post back with a update when I get further along. Hey, y'all see that right there? I was snipping up some of them saplings. There's a buttload of ants that came out of there. Got out just in time. Alrighty. As last week, I am passing time with John MacArthur. Today, I happen to be listening to his introduction to Ephesians. Ephesians 1:1-3. It's 57 minutes. I started it right before I started this, and just thought y'all might want to know what I'm listening to. Anyways, I'm gonna try to see if I can avoid these ants and get back to work. Alright. Well, folks, that's roughly one John MacArthur sermon later on the blessings of God and from God for the believer in Ephesians. Just scratching the surface on that one. Instead of lumping up one big pile at the end and then trying to lump that whole big pile back there, I'm just raking out a row and dragging it back. Raking out a row and dragging it back. Whole lot easier than one whole huge lump, lumping it all the way back several times. And then what I started to do, and I guess in a way you call it sidetrack, I started to rake up this, or the grass that I clipped. You see this? I'm raking that up too. Over here. I'm going to do the same with it. So I'll start the next one up and get back to work. See y'all when I do. Alrighty. All of this is raked up and over there. I'm going to keep these flowers right here, these lilies, and I'll keep them right there. They're not in the way. I uncovered 2 more tombstones that I hadn't seen before because they were covered up. I'll next move on to raking up this into the pile that is right over here and raking it out there. MacArthur's been covering election, a doctrine of those who understand it. It brings praise to God in prayer and in song. To those who do not, they hate it. Some of you may be those people who do not understand it, so you hate it. It says we're dead in our sins. All have sinned, fallen short of the glory of God. That we are dead in our sins. Now we can't do what is good. We can't do what is righteous because we love sin. On our own, we are slaves to sin. Slaves to Satan, who is the father of all of those who do not believe. And the Lord's wrath abides upon their iniquity. So, a dead man cannot choose God. No person by their own will can choose God. It's the Father who drew us, and the Son who did not turn us away. It was out of God's love that He predestined us unto adoption. It wasn't out of his hate that he didn't choose some. It's like someone with an abundance of money walks into a crowd of people handing out $1,000 here and there. No one told him that he had to give something to everybody. It was of his own will that he wanted to go into the crowd and give it to some. Now we read in Ephesians that the Lord predestined us unto adoption as sons before the foundations of the earth were laid. Now what does that mean? The Lord predestined us. He wrote our names in the Lamb's Book of Life before he ever laid the foundations of the world. Now, I'm not sure what the foundations of the world are, but I'm just glad my name's written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Now, in that, this was before he had created the world. Created, light and darkness, and the waters, and that which to separate the expanse. He ordered day and night, the moon to separate it, the birds of the air, and the fish of the creatures of the deep, and the creeping things that crawl on the earth. Even before he made man, breathed life, he formed Adam out of the dust of the earth and breathed his life into him. And it was before he formed Eve from the rib bone of Adam, so that he may say to her, bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. I heard one preacher one time say, he looked at her and said, whoa, man. Obviously, they didn't speak English, but, I mean, you gotta remember, they were very good. Adam was probably the most handsome man that ever walked the earth. Eve was probably the most beautiful woman who ever walked the earth. Okay, so before there was creation, the Lord predestined to adoption. He knew that Adam and Eve would fall for Satan's temptation in the garden to eat of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The Lord knew it was going to happen. Why? So that he may receive glory. That's why. Culmination of everything throughout history. His story. So that he may receive glory. So, just keep that in mind, y'all. This explains the title, Yardwork and Election. I'm not talking about the presidential election. Those of you who know, we didn't vote for Biden. He was selected. And even that gives God glory. I'm going to get back to working because I'm on the clock. Alright, I'll show y'all when I'm done. I'm going to rake this up, weed eat that, and end up raking that the next time. Which will not be this Friday, but the following. Everything from then on, it ought to be a piece of cake. Just weed eat little, no hard work. Shouldn't take long either. Anyways, I'll see y'all when I get this done. Alrighty, folks. I've finished the sermon on election. Well, not just election, but also Ephesians, but the first part of Ephesians. And this is the work I was able to accomplish in that time. You see this pile off beside itself from the others? That's just from right there that I just raked up. Alright. Now, here's the easy part. Just weed eating the rest of this. Alright. Getting these lilies right here. Those over there. I'm not sure what to do with that bush right there. It looks like it flowers. Look at that old decorational grass. Anyways, I'm gonna get to work. In honor of the Californians, I ate a fruit and nut bar. For California is the land of fruit and nuts. There's a whole lot of fruity people and a whole lot of crazy people out there. But I think they also grow them too. And I drink some water. For here is it is in abundance. Alrighty, back to work. Alright, I am finished. And all these graves of the Childresses are clean. Nice and clean. Oh man, that's a lie. Not just Childresses, but also Tarpley. Some that have initials only, and some with no date. And this is the man who started it, W.W. Childress. He was born in 1870. Wow. Yeah. Really good. Thanks.